Welcome to the Family Meet. Here we come together with extended family members, those connected by blood or friendship, and a shared humanity to explore the profound importance of family in our lives. And they share some heartfelt stories about their personal experiences, their triumphs, their challenges. But at the heart of our conversation is the profound truth that we are all a part of the same human family. And the more deeply we understand and embrace that, the better life will be on planet Earth. And with that said, I have the privilege to be in the room with I think you're my cousin, man. Would you be my grand cousin? I don't know how does that work? Trey Ballard. Trey, what's going on, Trey?
What's up, family?
I'm doing fantastic and I'm getting better. Now, are you my cousin or are you my grand cousin? How does that work, Trey?
Most of my family recognize me as Christy's son.
Okay,
I'm Eula grandson. I know everybody know Eula.
okay, okay. Everybody knows you. If they don't, they will soon.
Yeah.
So, with that said, let me ask you, Trey, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do.
I'm 23. I got right now. I got my certificate. I got a few certifications. What I do right now, I'm working on getting my forklift certification. I got my CDL. I stopped driving for a little bit to spend family time. You know what I'm saying? To come back and just be in town and spend family time. But that's really what I do.
When you say you got your CDL, that means you drive trucks?
Yeah, I can drive a truck. Yeah.
Dude, I remember you and I were talking the other day, and I recall to share with you the story about my uncle, Uncle Sam, who was one of the patriarchs in the family, who used to drive a truck. And, he was kind of rambunctious during that time, but he had an accident. And that accident made him bedridden, I think, for maybe 6 months. And once he came through that experience, he had just like a profound epiphany. And his relationship with God just skyrocketed. He became a light in the family. He ultimately started his own church. Right now, Pastor Ruth is over that church, but he really inspired a lot of other people in the family to really reflect on themselves and take a look at what life is about, where they are, what's going on. So I really appreciate us having that conversation because so many people that are not directly related or weren't there during the time when he was around don't know his story and don't know how impactful he was on the entire family, our entire family. Let me ask you this, Trey. Um, what has inspired you to move in the direction that you're moving in?
Really, really the negativity what inspired me and the trials and tribulations. Because, I'm in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much negativity in the city. I feel like, you know, when you get older, you grow, you gonna want to separate yourself from that because it'll really bring you in. Like the city will really bring you into the wrong path. The city will really bring the wrong things your way. You know what I'm saying? So you get older, and you just try to find you another route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to bring the rest of the family up to speed, Trey and I had a conversation the other day because Trey has been having some spiritual awakenings in his life experience. And a part of that has caused him to search and discover some new truths that really are shaping and shifting the way that you conduct yourself. What are some of the changes that are happening in your life as a result of this awareness that's growing with you?
Man, I really started to pray more. You know what I'm saying? I I wasn't really one to always go to church. So obviously, we went to church here in Neto, but recently, I really got to learning myself, and I found God because really, I feel like when you get to learning yourself, then you get closer to God because God is in all of us, and
Mm.
I just recently learned that, you know what I'm saying? I was really like lost for a long time. I just recently learned that. Like I said, I'm 23 now. I just turned 23. Like it took me 23 years to realize the presence of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? And just try to get my head on straight because I was
Wow.
really lost. I was really lost for real.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something that happened about a week ago. My son called me, and my son has a daughter, right? And he said it's kind of like what you were saying that he spent some time introspection, just listening to himself, looking inside, saying what, asking himself questions about what's going on, why you do things the way you do them. And one of the things that he came to grips with was that, he felt like he had been selling himself short in terms of pursuing his dreams and visions. And yeah, he kind of compromised with it a little bit. But then when he looked at it, he said, what would happen if his daughter were doing that? how would he feel about that? And it really makes you rethink, like, you know what? That's not something I would want for somebody that I love. So why do I tolerate it for myself? That is
Right.
profound.
I feel like a big part of it is self-analyzation, and a lot of
Mm.
people skip that because, you know, like I heard somebody say, I ain't think of this, but I heard someone saying it stuck with me. Your breath could stink and your nose wouldn't even tell you. You know, because the brain to skip self-analyzation so easy and just be able to judge somebody else. You gotta look at yourself like you look in that mirror every morning, and you gotta really look. And sometimes you don't gotta look. Sometimes you gotta think. Sometimes you gotta think because everything ain't in the sight. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But self-analyzation really key, and it'll get you someplace.
Man,
I
that's
feel like
profound. I'm gonna use that. Your breath could stink and your nose would know it. I like that. That's powerful, but it's true. It's true. Let me ask you this, Trey. What have been some of the greatest challenges you have faced in your experience? What do you consider to be some of the most difficult challenges?
man, you know, I hate to say it, but you know, like in our culture, you know, like I got kicked out when I was 16 and I got kicked back out when I was 18. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? So sleeping in the car, I didn't sleep in laundry mats. I didn't like living in Chicago. I seen my first time seeing a dead body, I was like 13. I ran
mm,
outside. You know what I'm saying? My sister seen too. It's like just I don't know. It's just the path God put me on. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I like to think that you ain't never in the wrong place. You always in the right place because it's all in God's plan. You know what I'm saying?
mm, mm.
But when you believe that it's in God's plan, that's when that stress releases out for you. So
Yeah.
I feel like if I wasn't put in them positions, I wouldn't have been me personally. I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been able to recognize God if He ain't put me through those tribulations, me
Mm-hmm.
personally. But maybe somebody else already would have recognized, but I had to go through them things in order to recognize His presence. That's how I feel.
Mm. Interesting. That's cool, man. In terms of any discoveries or wins, victories that you have had, what do you consider to be some of your greatest discoveries or victories in your experience?
I think my greatest victory was recently um, with that awakening awareness of, you know, the greater power and realizing, because like I told you in that one conversation we had, personal conversation, when you touched me for real, like, that I was in survival mode for so long, you know what I'm saying? Out here in the city in survival mode so long, I just recently realized like you can't surround yourself around getting money or this and that, the material world. Like, no, my greatest what was the word you used?
Discovery.
Discovery was family. That's
Mm,
family, like the feeling of being around family, that is the greatest feeling. And you'll be blinded and you won't feel it if you're stuck in this material world, I feel like.
hmm.
But being around people that care about you is more valuable than anything else, I feel like. Cause when like I like to say, when you take your last breath, you ain't gonna be
Mm.
thinking about the checks you cashed or the money you spent.
We,
You're gonna
man.
think about the
We.
conversation you had and the memories you made. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So that being said, that's the most valuable thing. I feel like that was my greatest discovery.
Dude, and you never cease to amaze me because when I talk to you, I see such profound wisdom that comes forth from you, and you just waking up to this reality. But the reality is that the information has been here and it's pure. It's like anybody who embraces it can have the experience. But I really am impressed by the fluidness with which you communicate what you feel in your spirit and how you articulate it with great ease and grace, man. I really take my hat off to you, dude. In terms of family, what do you and your family do to try to create greater bond? Kind of like we do these family meetings, we talk to each other, we try to reach out to one another. What kind of things do you and your family do?
I mean, you know, yesterday we all gathered at Grandma Eula's house and we ate, you know, she had made some pig feet, oxtails, you know what I'm saying? We was just laughing, having a good time. Other than that, I mean, we just get together and it's just, you know, when we get together, that be the time. When it get
Mm,
together, that be the gift. You know what I'm saying?
hmm. That's profound, man. That is profound. So, Where do you see yourself going in the future? What's the vision for the future for Trey Ballard? What you gonna do, man? What you gonna be?
Man, I just leave it up to God for real, you know what I'm saying? But I don't got no direct plan, no direct goal, but I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm gonna be good, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna be good because I just put it out, give it out to God, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing a few things right now, like I ain't gonna lie, just cause this for the family and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I know my mama would tell y'all herself, so I tell y'all like I didn't help my mama so much, like I'm not even gonna tell y'all. Y'all need to talk to my mama, like, and she done helped me so much too, and like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I just want us to get together. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of family I ain't met yet. I know it's a lot of family I probably never meet. The
Mm-hmm.
family's so big and across the country. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I want us to get together and talk for real.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a piece, man. Now, there is a place called the Akashic Records. I'll tell you what that is. The Akashic Records are where all infinite wisdom lives. Like anybody can tap this. Everybody does not. But sometimes when
Yeah,
you're in your quiet
cosmic
time,
record.
Akashic Records, yes, I'll send you information on it. But sometimes when you're in your quiet time and you reflected and you kind of meditated or whatever, doing your introspection thing, I want you to listen because what you're going to hear is desire is God's agent. What I mean by that is when you get a desire to do something, it's Him prompting you, say, okay, go that way. When you get a desire, because He said, I grant the desires of the heart. Not only grant them, I plant them. So when you're in your quiet time, yeah, you're going to leave it up to God, but He's going to give you a direction. He's going to give you a prompting. Be sensitive to that prompting and say, oh, I hear you going that way because He's going to talk. If you listen, He will talk. I promise you that. I want you to do this for me, Trey. If
Yeah,
it was something that you could share with our family, or whatever you think would be of benefit to generations yet unborn, because one of the reasons why I'm having these conversations is to kind of chronicle what or archive what our experience was, because children that are coming after us need to be able to look and say, you know what, this is information. I liken it onto Superman. He was in a land by himself, but he had these crystals that had people sharing information with him about this is what you pay to pay attention to. This is what you need to look out for. If it was something that you could share with for generations unborn that you think would be of benefit and value to them, what would that be?
I feel like something I learned, like, chef. Um, for the younger or just for everybody,
This
like,
folks that's coming to the planet that's gonna be spending some time here, having an experience called life.
okay.
Anybody, man.
Um, I say everything in moderation. That's something. Everything in moderation,
Mm,
because we'll get sucked into something we like and think that's all that matters,
mm-hmm,
and everything in moderation. Because that one thing that you put all your eggs in that basket, that'll be the thing to take you out. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. That's all I say.
dude.
When it comes to food, you might fall into sipping some liquor or something. You might fall into smoking something. You feel me? Everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm,
Family time, make sure you got family time in there. Make sure you got what you like to do in there personally. Make sure you got your hustle in there. Everything in
mm-hmm,
moderation. Don't
mm,
put all your time into one thing, because you're gonna get older and be like, dang, that I don't even care about that no more. You
mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying?
mm, mm-hmm. That's
And you
good,
spend all
man.
that time on it.
That's good.
The time you
So
ain't gonna get back. That too. Time you ain't gonna get back.
you're right about that. So let me ask you this, Trey. How can people get in touch with you? Are you like on social or what? If somebody wanted to reach out to you, how would they go about connecting with you, man?
Um, shoot, get my number from Bobby.
I appreciate that, my brother. Well, this is kind of rounding up our conversation for today, but I want you to leave us with some closing thoughts. If it was something that you could share to close us out, what would that be?
Man, I love y'all family, and don't let your emotions get the best of you. Always have self-control, because I'm still working on that myself.
Dude, I appreciate your authenticity, my brother. And I want you to know I love you. And I'm gonna come see you again. I came to see you when you was little. You even remember when I first came to see you. But the thought
Yeah.
is, man, I really appreciate you, your awakening and your inspiration. Because when you start shining your light, you give other people permission to shine theirs. And they start feeling like, you know what, I could do better. Dude, so I'll take my hat off to you. With that said, I'm gonna close it out for this episode of the Family Meet with Trey Ballard. Cool.
Y'all just call me Trey.